I was going to lie down because I don't have my headphones because I've forgotten them again. But the ground's really wet and I don't want to get a wet back. So, trust me, you don't want to miss this video. Welcome back to the fields of Perthshire in a slightly drizzly and a little bit of an overcast Scotland. So welcome back everyone. Well, as you'll have seen, I took delivery last night, although I probably won't post this video for maybe 5 days or a week, but I took delivery of the Extreme Hunter from XP, which was very kindly loaned to me by Regton's Metal Detectors. So, by the time you watch this video, I will be out using it, trying to get to grips with it, creating some content using it, and that will be coming very soon. I'm out, and it's another new permission. Now it's unusual for me because this has been planted. This has been planted with winter barley, but the farmer is very, very keen for me to try it out because of the history of this field. So despite it being under crop, he said to me, give it a go. You're not going to do any harm, just fill the holes back in. Don't make too much of a mess and let me know what you find. So there is some stunning crop marks in this field. I'm going to need to do a video at some point to explain what crop marks are, but this is the crop mark for this field. So as you can see, there are multiple marks that appear at certain times of the year as the barley or the wheat is changing colour because of moisture and ditches and other features that have been dug in the ground. Farmer says he's done a huge amount of stone clearing on this field. Lots of dressed stone, which he reckons is from an old farm or an old house, or maybe even multiple houses. In addition, there are ditches and enclosures that are consistent with the Iron Age, the Bronze Age. Add to that, on the far side of the field, there is an old trackway. So I am excited, very excited. So fingers crossed, there's going to be some treasures to be had. Oh, and as ever, if you're not subscribed, then please hit the button and help to support my channel. Right, I'm itching for this. Let's go. We've got a slight technical problem. Yours truly has forgotten his headphones. Now come on, you've got to give me credit. It's been a while since I've forgotten something. I mean, I did lose my water bottle, but that was losing, not forgetting. So as a result, we're going to be on speaker, 6970. Don't have high hopes. That could be it right there. No, it's not, it's a leaf. Oh, there it is there. We got a spoon handle, which has been a silver plated, electroplated silver plated spoon back in the day. And it has got a maker's mark on it, but it's going to pretty much be wiped out, unfortunately. But it's fine. Number one, almost silver, kind of, and probably from the 19th century, I would think. Nice, lovely start. 30 seconds in. Well, that's a little interesting find. Came through at a very wispy 50-52, and it's got the kind of look and shape that it might be part of a strap end, possibly like a belt fitting or something like that. It would have obviously been longer, maybe attached to leather. What do you think? It's definitely got a bit of shape about it. The fact the hole's a bit off centre as well makes me think it might be a bit older, bit of age to that. So, if you know, comment below. This was an 82, but it did sound pretty scratchy, and it is a mystery object. It's kind of fairly smooth on this side. It is lead, although it does look completely different on one side from the other, so maybe it's got some sort of lead alloy on one side, but the other side has got these interesting little scores, which are surely intentional, because they all kind of radiate out from the middle. It almost looks like it could be part of like a buckle or something like that. It looks like it could have been sort of that shape maybe, or slightly smaller. But, well, if you know, comment below. Is it ancient or not? A very faint 88 has produced what could be a coin, and if it is a coin, it's slightly puzzling. I mean, it could be a farthing, but it looks to have quite a big edge on it. Right. There's something going on there, but I can't quite see what. It could even be an old pre-decimal. Oh, you know what it is? It's a spendable. I don't believe it. Oh well, it's a coin, isn't it? Let's give it a wee bendy thumb rub. It's a 1 pence. Spendable 1 pence. Let's see. There you go. Portcullis. New penny. And there she is. Elizabeth II. We might get a date off this. Maybe. Be up there. 1970. I think it's 1970. No, it can't be 1979. The year of my birth. Well, there you go. Elizabeth II. Spendable 1 pence. You can take this to a shop and buy something with it. Not quite sure there's anything for 1 pence anymore, but, well, it's coin number 1 inside an hour. I've been going for about an hour and a half, not been a huge amount of targets until I've made it over to this side of the field. Now in the distance you can see that edge of the field running along that way, oh, just about, and that's actually where the old roadway is, the old trackway, and I've started, the closer I'm getting lots and lots of bits of lead. Little fragments, little pieces, a few bits of copper and stuff like that, a couple of bits of aluminium as well, but well, it's promising, so I'm going to focus in on this area around the old trackway. We got a, oh, dropped it. We got a pretty solid 80. Worth a dig. Doesn't seem like a big target. It could just be more lead. We're out. Fairly shallow. Come on, be something good. Oh, oh, oh! That's silver. You beauty! Oh, thank goodness I filmed that. I filmed the last 4 things and they've just been lumps of lead. We've got a silver coin. We've got a silver. It's in 1943. Oh, so it is still 50%. Yep. Yeah, it was just my brain wasn't quite working there. It's going to be George the 6th. It is. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. The silver streak continues. Fantastic. Well, I was hoping for maybe older, but I'm not complaining. Anything silver is very good indeed. Oh, where's my spray bottle? Right. Let's give it a wee squish. A wee scoosh even. So it's pretty brown. It is very heavy soil here, quite clay, with a bit of a red tinge to it, but it is clearly 1943. 1943 was a big year in World War II. It was the Battle of Stalingrad, which was a turning point on the Eastern Front. The Germans held at Stalingrad by the Russians and eventually pushed back. And they also lost in North Africa. That was a major turning point as well. And then if I also remember rightly, I'm sure Sicily in Italy fell in 1943. And I think the American forces then landed on mainland Italy, and Italy shortly thereafter collapsed. And Mussolini, the downfall of Mussolini. Phenomenal. I wonder what the mood was when this coin was lost, but certainly that was a major year for the Allied forces in 1943. And it is Queen Elizabeth II's father. He died in 1952. It's another nice one. I think that's exactly the same readout as is that silver sixpence. Got a stone though. It's better. Everything seems to be fairly shallow apart from a couple of ploughshares that I've had. Although in this case, I think I'm going to... Oh no, there it is. Is that it there? No, I think that's a stone. Right, I'm going to get back to you. To be honest, deeper I was going, I wasn't so convinced, but it's a coin. It's just plunked out. And it looks like a halfpenny. And there is detail. 1890 I think we've got. Yep, 1890. So it's going to be Victoria. It looks to be in reasonable condition. Let's give it a wee tickle. Oh, dropped it. Everyone take a drink. Right. There we go. Oh, it's strange. It's the young head. I was expecting the old head. I can never remember what year that transition happened. I know some people have already mentioned it, but I've forgotten. Surprise, surprise. But yep, you can see the young head of Victoria. Took the throne at 18, I think she was. Ruled for 62 years, give or take. And a wee halfpenny from 1890 is probably about half a pint of beer. Maybe if you're lucky, it'd push to a pint. But it is a nice coin, very nice coin. And I'm guessing probably this was about the last year that our young head appeared on coinage. Because our Jubilee head and our old head, our veiled head as it's called, followed shortly after. But that is lovely, beautiful. Certainly we get a wee loaf of bread, or a couple of sparrows. I've now made it pretty much to the edge of the old trackway. Oh, get you in shot. I mean, that sounds pretty decent, doesn't it? Ooh. It's kind of round, but I think it's a bottle top. It is wicked, which is WKD, which is what we called an alco pop back in the day. All the underage kids used to drink it. Well, I've only went and got myself a hammered coin. 42, 46, not a great target at all. And I've got a cut half. I've got a medieval hammered coin. I thought it was a bit of aluminium, but I can see the dots on it. Right down here, not a fantastic target. Gave it a wee knock with a pinpointer, fell out of here, and that right there, folks, is... Oh, it might be broken. It is. It's broken on the edge. It is broken on the edge, but that is a cut half. Look at that. Oh, it might be voided. See those two lines? I think it is. I think it is a voided cut half. Right, there's going to be some detail on it, but we'll give it a wee wash. In fact, we'll do it on camera. Let's pop that back in the holder. Might as well let you all join in the experience. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. Right. Let's get that on the old finger. It is a nice one. It is avoided. You see those two lines? They were to indicate how you could cut the coin, because people would chop them up for small change. If you were buying something that was less than a penny, or half a penny, or quarter of a penny, in some cases even an eighth of a penny, then you could chop them up. So the little lines were there to kind of guide you. You can see it's been cut right through the middle of the voided line that ran in that direction. Now, these were only, as far as I'm aware, only used by one monarch. And he was not Scottish. He was English. And you can just see his head looking right at us. Let me stick that away just now. I'm going to give it a wee dab with a blanket just to dry off the excess. Really need to give this blanket a little wash. Seen better days. So, there you go. Oh, and actually, I think we've got there H.E., which is the man who I thought it was. Henry. So I believe it's Henry the Third. And you can see a little lock of hair or an ear coming in on the left hand side. So I think it's Henry the Third. And he is the longest ruling medieval king of England. In actual fact, he was the longest ruling king of England until George the Third, because I think he ruled for about 58 years. And he was only overtaken by George the Third, who ruled for 60. Albeit the last 10 of them, his son had to kind of take over as regent because of his mental health. So he ruled from, I think it was 1217 until about 1272, something like that. And his son was Edward I Longshanks, who went on to invade Scotland during the first wars of independence. And his Henry III actually had a daughter. She was called Margaret of England, and she married the King of Scotland, Alexander III. She was, I think, 11 years old. He was about 20. It wasn't a loving relationship in terms of they were not sexually active because she was too young. However, she didn't enjoy her time in Scotland. They actually got married in York, in the north of England, York Minster. And then she headed north, but she used to write to her father and her family saying how miserable she was in Scotland. It was cold and wet, and Edinburgh Castle was drafty and horrible. But there you go. And eventually she died. I think she was 35, 40 years old when she died. She died fairly young at a place called Cooper Castle, which is in Fife. And Alexander III went on to marry another woman called Yolanda, and at the time I think he was in his mid-40s and she was 20. He was desperate to conceive, or for his wife to conceive a child, and eventually he fell off a cliff. And that was the end of Alexander III, which in 1286 led to the Wars of Independence with Edward invading. Beautiful coin from the 13th century. I am over the moon with that. Mwah. Wonderful. Absolutely brilliant. It was a weird target, and the reason why, it's a doubler. So a 72 and an 82. So, in the same hole. Let's go with the 72 first, because it's nearest. And it's a bit of aluminium. Oh, it's a ring pull. It is. Oh, love it. It's not a day unless you get a ring pull. Or 10. Right, what's the 82? Hopefully not another bit of a ring pull or a tin can to go with a ring pull. Ugh, I know I should be lifting this up with my hand, but the camera doesn't sit right. Oh, we've got another silver. I think we have. I think we've got another silver. Triple silver. That is a silver, 100%. It's got a milled edge. Won't quite come off. Oh, there we go. I think it's another shilling. No, a sixpence, sorry. Not a shilling. It is. It is a silver sixpence, but it's a nicer looking one than the one I got before in terms of the tone of it. Looks beautiful. 1937. It's George VI again, I think. Get that off. Yep, it is. It is. Spray bottle time. Yes. It is a beauty. Look at the difference in that coin. Same field. Same field, and the patina on it is incredible. Bit more worn on that side. There you are. He's a wee bit brown on his face there. George VI. So, I'm going to have to dry this off and get back to you. There they are, side by side. Two sixpences, both of George VI. Look at the difference in terms of the quality of the coins. Obviously the one on the right will clean up more, I just didn't do very much with it. But the back is actually just as good, I think, on both. And 1937 and 1943. So 37, that was the Hindenburg. That huge big airship. It wasn't helium, was it? It was... oh, I can't remember what the gas was. But anyway, it exploded, caught fire, and killed the crew, the passengers, and a few people on the ground as well. But yeah, things are really kicking off at this point as we head towards Germany starting to annex the Sudetenland in the south and withdraw from the Treaty of Versailles, which was signed in 1919, and that eventually led to the invasion of Poland, which I think was 1939, and then eventually that's the beginning of World War II. Well, two lovely coins from very similar periods in history. Phenomenal. Oh, this is a nice one, and the sun has come out. Well, maybe a bit too nice actually. 94. Georgian copper, bottle top. Big silver. Or a bit of lead. Bit of brass. Just, again, I'm just rhyming off every kind of metal that you can possibly think of. I think it's to the front of the hole. Just playing it safe. Right. It's a big bit of lead. Wow, it's a whopping great big bit of lead. But, well, it's better than aluminium. Could be ancient, but we'll never know. I'm trying to get around as much of the field as possible, just to see if there's any hot spots, just to see what's around. So I've moved away from the trackway, which produced, I think all three of those silver coins came from that kind of area, but it was going quiet anyway. And I'm sure I'll be back another time. So 1991, definite Georgian copper. I mean, I know I said that before with the 92s, 94s, but generally 1991 is where you would expect it to come in. And I'm surprised because I only just realised I've had 4 coins. 3 of them have been silver. Oh, I don't believe it. I've got another silver. I've got another silver. I was just about to say 3 of them are silver and 1 of them's a spendable. And I've only went and got a 4th silver coin, and I haven't had another coin yet, like a non-silver old coin. Well, I think it's another 6pence, but it's going to need a bit of attention. I can't believe this. I cannot believe this. 4 silvers. Cannot remember the last time I had 4 silvers in a day. Let me get you zoomed in a touch. I think it's a 6pence. It is a 6pence. It's a well-worn 6pence. The style, I think it's probably going to be George V or George VI again. I think it's George V. So I think it's George VI's dad. That's unbelievable. They're literally just throwing silver coins away in this field, but not the copper ones. Well, not yet anyway. And not that I'm complaining. Right, I'm going to clean this up, dry it off, and get back to you, see if we can get a date off it. Phenomenal, what a day. This is turning out to be an unbelievable day. I mean, 4 silver coins, 1 of them medieval, and 3 6pences, which is what this is, I think. George V, you can see him looking to my left, his right, and this is actually pre-1920. I can just get a date, 1916. So, silver 6pence, 92.5% silver, and this is from the time of, well, 2 major events in British history. One, the Battle of the Somme, which started in the summer of 1916 and finished, I think, around about November or December, and it was the worst day for the British in history, the British Army. Something like 60,000 casualties on the opening day of the battle. And over both sides, I think they lost in excess of 500,000 and over 1 million casualties. And I think the gain was even worse than Passchendaele, which I mentioned on a previous video, I think Passchendaele, they gained 5 miles. I think in the Somme, I think they only gained 2. So 1 million casualties for 2 miles of land. Unbelievable. So the other major event was the Easter Rising in Ireland. Ireland basically trying to gain its independence against Britain. And it was a fairly short affair. It took place in April, Easter, hence Easter Rising of 1916, and it resulted in the Republican movement being decimated. They rounded up all of the ringleaders. Many of them they executed at Kilmainham Jail in Dublin, including one man called James Connolly. And he was actually born in Edinburgh. He was born in the Cowgate, which is just off of the Grassmarket. He was one of the leaders. He was already close to death, mortally wounded. He was probably only a few hours from death. They brought him in on a stretcher. They tied him to a chair and they shot him. And that was a major PR disaster for the British, because it resulted in a huge swell of support for the Republican movement. And then in the 1920s, Ireland gained its independence. Well, the Republic did, at least. So there you go. Beautiful coin from a major period in British history for all the wrong reasons. What a day I'm having. This was a really ropey target, and I can see why. Because if you look in the side wall, you see the greenery? Right there. Now that is a coin. It's a penny. It's a penny, and is it in good condition? It looks to be. Well, I'm going to get some detail off it, I think. Can't tell at the moment if that's the front or the back. Might be Britannia, maybe. It is Britannia, because I can see a head on that side. There you are. There's Britannia there. And there is a man looking to his left. It's Edward. Edward the 7th. Fantastic. Well, we got a coin and it's not a silver one. Makes a wee change, doesn't it? But it's got good detail. So he only ruled from 1901 to 1910. The oldest son of Queen Victoria. He was quite estranged from his mother. She partly blamed him for the early death of his father, who was called, oh, it's gone out my head now, Albert, there we go. Have we got a date? It's 1910. So yeah, he was partly, Victoria partly held him responsible for his father's premature death, because he had an affair with I think she was an American. She was like a theatre, stage and theatre woman, and it was a big scandal at the time. And allegedly, he went for a walk with his then father in the rain, and he then took ill and died shortly thereafter. So there you go, Bertie, Edward the 7th. Nice little coin, 1910, the year he died. It's a real screamer, but it's not a big output. It's only 8081. Could be a coin, just could be. Oh no, in fact, there's something right on the surface. There is something right on the surface. I just saw it. It's a button. Well, there you go. That's why it was such a loud output. It's actually the first button I've had today, which is incredible, because normally you're getting loads of buttons. I'm sure you've seen some days where I've pulled like 15, 20 of them out the ground. That one's got a tiny little bit of gilding left on it. It's probably from the 1800s, could be, maybe even the 1700s. Looks to be a plain one. So it's probably George III pushing into Queen Victoria at that kind of period. Nice. I think we might have a wee piece off a pocket watch. I think that's what that is. But can't be 100% certain, but I certainly haven't had a bit of a pocket watch for a wee while, so I was due one if it is. Another coin contender. Well, possibly. 85. I've had a lot of junk. But we're out. First spade full, thankfully, because a lot of it's been deep stuff. He's got another silver. I've got another silver. Look at that. Look at that. It is, I think it's another sixpence. It's got the right size to it. Oh, he's dropped it. It is another silver. I think that's 5. Oh, it might be George III. You know what? I think it is. I think it might be George III. Mr. Potato Head himself. Zoom you in a touch. It is. It is a bullhead sixpence. It's pretty worn, but you know what? It doesn't matter. I can see who it is, and that's the important part. Oh no, I just realised the fears just hit me. Now you have to hear me speak French. Met a lovely couple at Detector Mania who, I think they were from Aberdeenshire. I want to say like Stonehaven or Fraserburgh, somewhere like that up in the northeast. And he was French, she was Scottish, and they watched the channel, or certainly he watched the channel. She was out detecting for the first time and actually got, if I remember rightly, she got a silver coin. But he was French, and he kept on telling me how to pronounce it. And I've been waiting and waiting for the opportunity, and now I think I've forgotten. Right, apologies. Well, at least it's fairly worn, so I can pretend. So around there it says "Honi soit qui mal pense," which translates to English as "Shame be upon thee who thinks evil of me." That's as close as I think I'm ever going to get. So please, if it's terrible, that's it. That's all you're going to get. So it's Norman French. It's the saying of the Order of the Garter, which is the highest order of chivalry in England. It was founded, I think, around about 1350 by King Edward III. And in Scotland we've got an equivalent, which is called the Order of the Thistle, which was founded much later on in the 1670s, 1680s. I think maybe even 1685 rings a bell. But this is George III, so 1760 to 1820. The date is normally on this side, just below the head. And that looks pretty worn. Yeah, I can't see anything. Well, maybe I guess 1819, but it's very hard to say. But it says George III, DG, de Gratia, by the grace of God, and then Britannium. No, I can't remember. I'm going to say Brit Rex, FD, which is Britain, King, Defender of the Faith. So he married Queen Charlotte of Mecklenburg, and there's a shield on the back. You can see the rampant lion of Scotland, the 3 lions of England, top left and bottom right. You can see the harp of Ireland just sneaking on through there. And then right in the centre is the emblem or the symbol of Hanover, because he was also Elector of Hanover. So there you go. A lovely little coin, and I think it's maybe number 5 on the silvers. So I don't know what's happened to all the coppers and the cupronickel in this field, but clearly they were just focusing on throwing silver away, which is good for me. Tremendous. Oh, George III, did I say? 1760 to 1820. Queen Charlotte. I think she was actually responsible for founding Kew Gardens in London. And he was also known as Farmer George because he was quite interested in agricultural improvements. Lovely. Always great to get silver. And that is the second oldest coin I've had today, I think. This seems to be working, so I'm just going to keep on doing it. Beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Almost as beautiful as the scenery in the background, which I wish I could show you, but I have to keep it blurred. Well, it sounded like a button, and it is a button. It's a wee 4-holer. Probably going to be 1850 into the early 1900s. Not quite silver, but hey ho, it's a nice wee find. Oh well, folks, the sun is setting literally on my day's detecting. I'm done about almost 7 hours, I think. I think I might have 5 silvers, which would just be incredible. Brand new field. I can't understand why there are so many silver coins, and the pennies and half pennies and pre-decimal stuff's all just kind of doesn't seem to be here. It's bizarre. Anyway, I'm not complaining. Well, let's have a wee look at the best of the best from an absolutely incredible day, which includes a 13th century coin. Yes, 13th century. There we are. What a day. What a day. Unbelievable. 5 silvers. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 sixpences. So we've got George VI, 1937. We've got George VI, 1943. We got George V, 1916. I think that one was. We got a George III, which I think is 1819, but it's from that period anyway. And then the star of the show, we got this little, nearly, got this little cut half, which I think is Henry III, a long cross voided penny that's been chopped in half. But it is damaged, but it's still got detail, so I can't complain. And I then got 3 other coins that weren't silver. The penny spendable, Elizabeth II, the Queen Victoria, 1890 halfpenny, and then the 1910 Edward VII. And then we got a few bits and pieces, little bits of potential buckle, pocket watch, lead, the electroplated spoon. So all in all, I am absolutely over the moon with that. 5 silvers in a day on a brand new permission. I could have got 5 videos out of that if I'd have got them all separately. Ah well, I'm not complaining. An absolutely unbelievable day. 5 silvers, just incredible. As I say, if I got one of them on 5 different digs, that would be 5 videos. Just the way it is, sometimes you get 5 in a day and you think, oh, that could have been 5 fantastic videos. But anyway, you know, that's life. Unbelievable field, brand new permission, never been detected before. I'm sure I'll be back. I've not even covered 1 or 2% of this entire field, which is about 15 acres. The only problem is it's obviously going to keep growing if it stays mild, so I'm going to have to be respectful to the farmer, not overdo it. But yeah, absolutely phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. He's got a few more fields which are not in crop just now, which have never been detected, so I'm probably going to go back to them with Simon and see, because I think 2 of his or more than 2 of his on this field's just too much, considering the farmers allowed me on and it's been planted. So I think just me or just 1 person on this field. Not that I'm trying to keep it to myself, I'm just trying to make sure the farmer is on side. So, as ever, if you're not already subscribed, then please hit the button. Help support my channel, and as I say, thank you for all the incredible support, all the lovely comments, and huge amount of positivity that I get from my channel, so I appreciate it massively. As I say, pushing for 50,000. I don't think we're going to get there for the 1st of January, but, well, stranger things have happened. Right, thank you all for watching, take care, and I'll see you on the next dig. Take care.